Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created him. Male and female, he created them. And in John 13, verses 34-35, Jesus says, "A new commandment I give to you, that you love one another. Just as I have loved you, you also are to love one another. By this, all people will know that you are my disciples, if you have love for one another." And in John's first letter, chapter 3, verse 17, he tells us, "But if anyone has the world's goods and sees his brother in need, yet closes his heart against him, how does God's love abide in him? Little children, let us not love in word or talk, but in deed and truth." We are all God's children, each of us equally made in his image, and each of us equally loved by God with a perfect, infinite, and ever-present love that we can merely imitate. Yet that is exactly what Jesus calls us to do, to love one another just as I have loved you. That's a really high bar. And the Apostle John exhorts us to show that love not in words, but in deeds and in truth. Throughout her life, my mother has been devoted to loving and serving others in deeds and in truth, and to teaching by example, so that Kathy, John, and I grew up knowing the Lord and knowing his call to love and serve one another. And a main focus of that love and service for Mother has always been caring for God's littlest children. As early as her high school years, Mother was a Sunday school teacher in Decatur. Then for most of my childhood, she was a public school teacher, serving on call and as needed throughout the Monticello School District, and serving the children of First Presbyterian Church in Monticello as Sunday school teacher, superintendent, and chair of the Christian Education Committee. Mother's care for the children of Kemmerer Village began sometime in the mid-60s and continues, I am confident, to this day. Dad and his sister had first learned about Kemmerer and the important mission here when their parents brought them here in 1945 to deliver Christmas gifts from their congregation. First Pres Decatur?
Tuscola.
Oh, Tuscola. Mother and Dad started bringing Kathy, John, and me here sometime in the 60s for open houses and the dedication of what was at the time new cottages, so that we too would grow to love the mission of Kemmerer Village. Of course, that was only just the beginning. Mother joined Women's Auxiliary, serving as president, and was elected to the board of directors in 1996, on which she served faithfully until her death in 2016, including 2 years, we think, as president. While on the board and the Financial Development Committee, she was involved in developing plans for this building, visiting churches throughout the presbytery to secure funding for the new building, and passionately advocating for the inclusion of a chapel in the building layout. And always, in whatever way she was serving, Mother's commitment was rooted in her deep faith in God and the love of Jesus Christ. Her service was never out of obligation or for public appearance, and certainly not in an attempt to earn God's love, so freely given, which we could never earn on our own. But rather it was through God's love and in continuing thanks to God for his blessings on her and all of his children. John, Kathy, and I share an intense pride of both our parents for these lessons of love and service that they taught by example. We are all deeply grateful to the staff and board of Kemmerer Village that you have chosen to honor Mother this way. Thank you. And above all, God, our Almighty Father, I thank you for the life of your servant Marie. I thank you for your love reflected through her as she did her best to love others as you loved her. I thank you that she is now with you, abiding in your perfect love. I ask that you continue to guide each of us in a life of loving and serving others, inspired by Marie, but always aspiring to obey your command to love one another as you have loved us. In the blessed name of your Son, Jesus Christ, I pray. Amen. Amen.
So the McNabb family has supported Kemmerer Village in a multitude of ways for literally decades. It's really hard to completely summarize in a short speech, which I'm sure everyone would prefer. But today we are rededicating the chapel as the Marie McNabb Chapel. This is absolutely as a testimony to the McNabbs' just commitment to the Kemmerer Village mission. And I'm really pleased to be able to do this. Marie joined the Women's Auxiliary in the 1970s. She was president for one term. And she was also on our board of directors from 1996 until her passing in 2016. She served as president at least once, probably more than once. And then many of you are well familiar with Bob McNabb. He has also been board president for several years, was absolutely integral in the changes that we've made since I've been executive director. His just incredible support has made a huge difference to me. So I just want to really thank you all for coming, and we're just very proud to rededicate the chapel today. Thank you.
The McNabbs made possible is to have this amazing speaker here today. So I just feel very optimistic. Everyone is going to benefit from hearing Josh Shipp speak today. We're thrilled to be able to offer this opportunity also to the Central A&M school staff. Welcome you into the Marie McNabb Chapel.
But then the video that he showed of his parents right before lunch, that's where it got me.
Yeah.
Dad and Mother, thank you so much for all that you've done for us for our entire lifetimes, but this especially we thank you for showing us God's love and the importance of loving and serving others, and especially the mission here at Kemmerer Village. It's just become so near and dear to all of us.
And there's memories that I have, just being a little kid and coming out here and being here when a cabin was being dedicated and getting to tour the grounds, and oh my goodness, have to mention sliding down the fire escape slide when that was still allowed in the old building. But just seeing all of the activities here and doing that with you from such an early age, those memories are precious. And
Sure.
And then watching how you and Dad just blossomed all of your activities here at Kemmerer and continued to work with programs and on the boards, and heaven only knows how much the two of you have done through the years, and I absolutely know that your efforts are blessed.
Somehow I got last. And so now I'm going to sound like I'm repeating.
No.
But Mother and Dad, thank you for teaching us God's love and God's love for these children that don't know what it's like to have wonderful parents like you. We love very much.